Amina didn't just enter luxury, she stepped into it like she was born for it. Her husband spoiled her effortlessly. Cars, diamonds, resort trips, gifts for no reason. In public, they were the couple people whispered about. The couple everyone wanted to be. Brands wanted her. Girls wanted her life. Men wanted her attention. And on social media, she looked untouchable. But behind every perfect post, a small piece of her began to disappear. She stopped visiting friends, stopped answering calls, stopped being herself. And on the nights when she couldn't breathe, she took tiny pills just to feel something. Luxury can hide anything, even the rules that choke you. Amina's life still looks golden. But now, we see the quiet conditions placed around her. Subtle, unspoken, heavy. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. His silence was a command. He starts monitoring our social circle, deciding who deserves access and who doesn't. Every suggestion is a rule dressed softly. At first, she thought it was love. Then she realized it was permission disguised as protection. Her world begins to shrink. Friends fade. Outings reduce. The mansion becomes her country. She stays dressed beautifully, but joy stops visiting her. The version of him that stepped out in public was not the man she lived with at night. Behind closed doors, the softness lifts. A darker, colder presence replaces it. Not always with violence, but with pressure that leaves no air. Some nights she hid in her own home, just to feel like her heartbeat belonged to her. She finds small corners to escape to, not because she's in danger, but because she feels erased. Her body is safe, but her mind is not. When her spirit got quiet, the mirror stopped recognizing her. Her appearance stays perfect, but her eyes begin to dim. Her laughter stops showing up. She becomes a guest in her own reflection. So, she reached for anything that could quiet the silence inside her. Wine becomes comfort. Pills become pulses. Her nights stretch into numbness. Not addiction, just escape. And somewhere between the soft sheets and the hard truths, she realized she was disappearing. Amina knows she can't survive like this, but she doesn't know how to leave. Not yet. Not while her world is still lined in gold. The morning Amina decided to leave, nothing dramatic happened. No shouting, no breaking glass, no storm, just silence. A silence so heavy, it felt like the house itself was holding its breath. Amina walked barefoot across the cold marble floor, the long hallway stretching ahead of her like a reminder of the years she had survived. Her movements were slow, measured, intentional. She wasn't running. She wasn't hiding. She was done. For the first time in a long time, her heartbeat wasn't loud. Her fear wasn't choking. Her thoughts weren't scrambled. She was calm. And that calm was dangerous. She stopped at the doorway of the master bedroom, the room she had called home, the room where she had lost pieces of herself one quiet night at a time. Inside, David stood by the window in his robe, hands clasped behind his back, looking out at the estate like a man surveying something he believed he owned. Amina stepped inside. He didn't turn. He didn't greet her. He didn't acknowledge her presence. He simply spoke. A low, dismissive command. You've had your fun? Come home. Amina didn't flinch. She moved further into the room, sunlight brushing the side of her face, revealing the version of her she thought had died years ago. The woman who could stand firm without shaking. She looked at David. Really looked at him. For the first time, she didn't see a husband. She didn't see a provider. She didn't see the older man she once convinced herself was stability. She saw a cage. David turned then, slowly, as if he could feel the shift in her spirit. His eyes narrowed. He could sense it, that something in her was gone. Something he had relied on. Something he believed he controlled. Don't do this, Amina. His voice was low, warning, the same tone he used to silence her. Her voice was calm, too calm. Home is where I can breathe. A muscle twitched in his jaw. He took a step forward. Don't test me. Amina's face didn't move. I already did. For 7 years. Silence filled the room again. A different silence. A silence David could not command. He stared at her. With confusion, with anger, with disbelief. A woman like Amina wasn't supposed to break the rules. She wasn't supposed to leave. She wasn't supposed to find herself. She was supposed to stay grateful. Stay small, stay quiet. But Amina turned away from him. Not fast, not dramatic, just steady. And walked to her dressing table. Her rings were placed neatly in their jewelry tray. She picked up the one he gave her on their wedding day, turned it once between her fingers, then set it down gently. No shaking hands, no tears. A quiet resignation, a quiet death of the version of her he created. As she packed a small bag, David stood frozen. Not because he wanted to stop her, but because he knew he couldn't. He wasn't losing his wife, he was losing his control. When Amina walked out of the bedroom, she didn't look back. Her footsteps echoed through the gold-lined hallway like the first breath of a woman reclaiming her destiny. Outside, the driver stood waiting, confused, hesitant. Amina spoke softly. Take me anywhere that isn't here. And for the first time in 7 years, she exhaled. In the days that followed, the backlash came. David weaponized everything. Money, influence, media, threats. He called her unstable. He accused her of disobedience. He tried to shame her back into silence. But Amina was no longer the trembling girl who defended him against her own intuition. Women began to speak out. Stories started to surface. People who had stayed quiet found their voices. And Amina, for the first time, spoke her truth publicly. Not with rage, not with theatrics, with clarity, with calm. With the conviction of a woman who survived the fire and walked out carrying her voice. This wasn't revenge. This wasn't rebellion. This was reclamation. And the world, for the first time, heard her. Whether she wins the legal battle or not, she has already won the war. Because silence can be stolen. But a voice, once awakened, cannot be taken back. This story isn't just about leaving a man. It's about leaving a version of yourself that was created for someone else. It's about waking up, choosing yourself, rewriting your fate, without apology. Amina didn't just walk out of a marriage. She walked back into herself. This is what it means to be a Sable woman. Power, beauty, self-rule. Written by you.